Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Piqua Indians Boys Basketball Coaches Show. I'm your host, AJ Ganger. With me as always, Coach Brett Kopp. Coach, we have had a lot of basketball games here lately since the last time that we spoke. We had the holiday tournament. We played Troy for the first time this season, and we just played a game last night. Let's go back to the holiday tournament a little bit. We were unable to win back-to-back holiday tournaments, but we just ran into a team who decided that those 2 days they were going to beat 2 undefeated teams in Graham.
Yeah, me and Grant talked before, and we talked about Troy Christian being in it, and us and them, and they're physical, they're disciplined in what they do, and it was our first time in a back-to-back, and I think that's a learning experience for us, and we couldn't finish the job. We were up on them in the fourth, just couldn't finish against Graham.
And that was our first loss of the season. We would end up bouncing back pretty quickly, though, beating Fairborn 62-38. Then came the Troy game, where we just trailed all throughout the game, had some chances late. Talk a little bit about that Troy game.
Yeah, you have a rivalry game like that. Kids get amped up. They were, they were excited to play the game, and sometimes that can be a downfall.
Yeah.
I don't even know the exact number we had in the first quarter, but it wasn't very much. I think we were down 12-1 at one point. But that credit to our kids. They kind of settled down and got into it and got after a little bit. And, when you dig yourself such a deep hole, it's hard to overcome sometimes. And
you being a former coach as well at Troy, I'm sure that was also extra fuel onto the fire during that week.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I mean, that was one we wanted. Yeah, I told them before the game. That's the one I circled when I got the job. But the good thing about basketball is we get another chance at them.
And you can do it on the road, too, in their place this time.
Fun.
And then the very next day, you guys had another back-to-back, another close game. How's your heart doing, by the way, with all these close games?
I'm pretty low-key with it, but it's a learning experience. It's something that they got to learn. We got to execute down the stretch. We're not going to win a lot of games by 25 and 30.
No.
We can't let off the gas when we get up. We were up, even last night, we were up by 13, kind of let off the gas, let them back into it. Fortunately, last night we were able to win, whereas Saturday we couldn't get it done.
Yeah, we ended up falling to the Tecumseh 69-66. But last night we beat Butler on the road 48-47 to bring our record up to 6-3. We're still 5-1 in the MVL and sitting pretty though right now.
Yeah, anytime the first goal every year is to win the league title. I mean, it hadn't been done here since 1986, so that was kind of the thing that that's our goal. We're going to advance towards that everything we do. The Tecumseh loss hurts, but it wasn't a league loss. We came back and we were able to hold on. I don't know that we did anything excellent to finish that game, but we held on last night, and that's the most important thing.
Now, one of the things coming up on the schedule, we've got Sydney. I'm not sure about the tip games right now. I know I read somewhere that they are remote learning.
That is pushed back to a date to be determined.
Okay. So when I was talking to Caleb earlier, I didn't know if that was happening until I kind of saw that. So you've got Sydney on Friday on the road. You were supposed to play Tip Saturday, but no longer. Again, you said push back. So you have Sydney back-to-back, Friday, Monday. As a coach, is it tough to play a team back-to-back or like one after another?
I'll let you know Tuesday. I've never had
You've never had it happen before?
Well, I did have it one time, but we had a 2-week period from end of regular season to tournament time. There are a couple benefits of Tip not playing them Saturday is we get a day of practice, to make some adjustments for Sydney, and then we get Monday morning with no school. We have another day of practice. But I'm not sure that they've ever been in this situation either. I know it's a big rivalry game. It should be fun. Great atmosphere both sides. So it'll be fun those 2 nights.
And then we close out January on the road with Milton and Xenia. And then we have the West Carrollton game here at home that got postponed earlier this year as well. It's a pretty tough stretch here that you're coming down. You still got all these road games left to be played.
It's not just the road games and the game. Now we're trying to get the best seed possible in the tournament. So, every game, every possession matters. Trying to position ourselves to the best, give us the best chance and come tournament time.
Correct.
With the draw coming up in February. So it's a big stretch for us. We got to kind of ease up on their legs and really focus on our execution and what we need to do in game for that to be good.
And the possibility of a league title is still out there. Only one loss. I mean, we went out. We're league champions.
I mean, it's not even if you went out. If we compete every night, the best of our abilities, we're going to be in games, and that's all you want. We just got to learn to execute. I told them, step one in the process was getting them to play as hard as they can, and I think they are doing that now. Step 2 is to add the execution with that effort, and anything's possible when that happens.
And one of the questions I'm going to ask Caleb here later on in the show is about the culture around this team. In years past, it didn't seem like we got up for games. It didn't seem like our emotions were up for these games. But now that you're here, I don't know if it's a change in the culture, the change in the way you practice, or whatever you do. It seems like these kids are ready to go out and play anyone. It doesn't matter if they're the Los Angeles Lakers. They're ready to go play anybody.
It's just, I don't know if it's just my personality, but it's an expectation that I've had since I was growing up. Like I'm expected to win. I had that on myself, and that's my kids are expected to do the same thing. And I learned early in my coaching career, if you play as hard as you possibly can, you're going to win more than you lose. And once you get that first step done, then you can really, as a coach, fine tune what you want to do execution wise. If you don't live up to my standard or my expectation, you're just not going to play. So they kind of figured that out. Like, we better bring it every night, or it's not going to be pretty.
The competitive spirit is pretty high with this team, all because of you.
I don't know about that.
Well, they're buying into what you're selling them, and that's what's good.
Yeah, they're buying into what I preach all the time, and we work on team chemistry, and I don't need them for 3.5 hours of practice. I need them to utilize our practice time to the best of their ability. And the harder they practice, the shorter we'll be, and then they can go home and be high school kids.
Yeah. I know we don't really talk a lot about stats, but since we're almost halfway through the season, I figured I'd lay a few of them out there. We have scored an average of 58.2 points for. We're giving up 49.3. Defensive-wise, this team is a much better team. And something I've also realized is, too, good defensive teams foul a lot. It seems like we're a really good defensive team that just doesn't foul. How do we? I mean, it's hard not to foul in basketball. I feel like.
We're not where we need to be defensively. We have a lot from a coach's perspective. We have a lot that we need to work on. But my varsity assistant Marcus Bixer does a phenomenal job. He's really in charge of almost like a defensive coordinator. And having coached against him, I know what he does, and I know how well we can be execution-wise on the defensive end. And really, it's just about being physical the right way and not fouling. It's a lot of fouls happen when you want to reach in, or you get tired or lazy and you want to try to defend. You really just got to sit down and lock in mentally, and that's where the lack of fouls come from.
It's just amazing because it's like the Troy game. I think the first half we had 7-8 fouls, but in the second half we had to foul 8 times, I think, just to get in the bonus to get Troy to start shooting free throws.
That's a good thing not fouling, but it's also a bad thing.
Yeah, it is.
So you're going to have to.
Drayshawn Roberts right now leads the league in scoring with 18.6 points a game, where he's second in assists with 4.4, fifth in field goal percentage at 56.6. Drayshawn's having a heck of a year, Coach.
Yeah, he's incredibly athletic, and he uses that to really, he gets to the rim when he wants, and he's really good at finishing around the rim, and he's really unselfish. And I think when he comes out and he's really kicking out to Cruzy for 3 or Q or Bryson, then the defense has to guard all of them. They can't just focus on one, and then that's when he can really attack and be at his best. And I said before, when we defend, it's really easy to score transition layups. And, we get the ball, we get defensive rebound, and we go. That's when we're at our best, and that's when he's at his best, is just playing in transition.
Another thing, as a team, we're shooting 47% from the field, 55.2 from the line, and 41.8 from 3. Really good three-point percentage, but obviously we need to work on the free throws.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that we work, and I'm not getting angry at them. Nobody tries to miss free throws. It's just something that we've got to focus in mentally. It's all about, relaxing your body, your mind, having a routine at the line, and just, believing that you're going to make free throws. Last night, we had a couple towards the end that almost cost us. It's just something that we've got to, as a team, kind of focus on and have the belief in ourselves that we're going to make them when we need to.
Today we are going to be talking to Caleb Lyons. Now I know the stats for individual stats weren't completely updated, so what I'm giving you now for him probably hasn't been updated when I was looking stuff up earlier today. He's played in 4 games. He's averaging 3.3 points a game, shooting 54.5% from the field, 50% from the line. And another thing I've mentioned, I've noticed too, through 8 games, Quentin Yacoub is the only shooter that's 100%, unless he missed one last night, which I don't know.
He did miss one.
He did miss one last night. But the only one that's only missed one free throw.
Yeah, he's a good free throw shooter.
But Caleb, he's a big football player. He's going to go play Division I football. He doesn't start on varsity here, but he is in the backup role behind Anson Cox. Talk a little bit about Caleb and what he means to this team.
Well, the first thing is his personality and leadership. Like that's the first thing I noticed about him. He's a great kid to be around, real funny, good timing on it, on his humor, but a great leader. Last night, very vocal and very positive leadership, so that's good. The one thing I'll probably never forget about Caleb, he's 6'4", 300 pounds, and he took a charge, and I've never seen a human being that big take a charge. So that's something will always be in my mind with him. But that's what he's willing to do. He's willing to do whatever it takes to win and help his teammates.
Last question here, Coach, before we get off here. One game that you are looking forward to the most here coming up?
In this month or overall?
Overall.
February 11th at Troy.
Okay.
That's it.
Hopefully we get that W right there.
Yeah.
Look, we want to thank everybody again for watching the Piqua Indians Boys Basketball Coaches Show. Do not forget that all of the games that we broadcast for the basketball team are on delay on our YouTube page as well as Channel 5. Coach, good luck the rest of the year, and we will have your game, I believe, it'll be on Monday night against Sydney.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you all for watching. For Coach Kopp, I am AJ Ganger. We'll be right back with our spotlight player, Caleb Lyons. Welcome to the second part of the Boys Basketball Coaches Show. Again, I'm your host, AJ Ganger. Joining me is our player spotlight for this episode. We have Caleb Lyons. Caleb, thank you for joining us here on the show today. So you're a basketball player, but you're also a football player. And you've been through coaching changes in the past year in basketball. What has this year been like for you with the new coach, with Coach Kopp?
I think this year's been really fun, and it's kind of cool to have somebody new in there, and it's really nice just learning a different view of the game. And I think Coach Kopp has a really good mind for it, and it's kind of cool to sit back and learn.
How has the culture been different than in years past? Because last year, the last few years, we haven't been on like the winning side of things, so to speak. This year, it's different. You guys are willing to go out there and play. You're willing, you're more excited, I should say, to go out and play.
I think we have a lot more of like an aggressive mindset, and we're not playing to try to not lose. We're trying to play to win now, and I think that helps us a lot.
Now, being a football player, you are committed to go play Division I football. Let the community know a little bit about that.
So, I'm going to play football at Furman University, and I don't know what I'm going to study yet, but I'm pretty excited about that. I leave in the summer, and I'm pretty excited about that.
How different do you think it's going to be to go play Division I football in college as opposed to playing in high school?
I think it's going to be a lot different because it's every single day. It's your full-time thing, and high school you can get away from it a little bit, but not when you're in college, I don't think.
How does basketball help you as a football player?
Basketball is like really, really good for your footwork.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe an offensive lineman, footwork's important, and basketball helps a lot with that. And then obviously conditioning, it helps you just stay in any type of shape.
Now you guys started out the year winning 4 straight games, and then you fell to Graham in the holiday tournament. It was a close game. But you guys just literally recently got on the winning track last night against Vandalia Butler, 48-47. Talk a little bit about that game last night.
So last night was we slid by, and we made a few mistakes defensively that we're going to work on these next 2 days before Sydney on Friday. But we executed well on offense, and we just got to keep working on that.
One thing I've noticed with this team compared to other teams is that you guys don't foul a lot. Is that preached? Or do you guys just literally just not foul? Because you're a very good defensive team, and very good defensive teams foul more often than what you think.
Yeah, so I think we don't really preach like not fouling as much as just not jumping on layups. Just instead, keeping arms up and contesting layups, and definitely not fouling around the 3-point line.
What are some of the things that you're looking forward to as you're at the halfway point, around the halfway point in the season? What are some of the things you're looking forward to? Maybe games, maybe people to play against. What are you looking forward to the most?
I'm really excited to play Sydney. We play them back-to-back Friday and Monday this week, and we're about to be done with the first session of playing all the MVL teams once. So I'm excited to come back and give every team a shot again.
It seems like you guys got kind of a brutal run here. You got Sydney on Friday at Sydney. Then you play at Tip City on Saturday, followed by Sydney at home on Monday, Tip City at home on Friday. So it seems like you're going to play the 2 same teams, but just back to back to back to back. How hard is that to prepare for, do you think?
It's hard to prepare for, but it's only hard to prepare for the first time because you play them once and then you know exactly what you're in for the next week. I think that helps a lot.
I know you're used to doing film study when it comes to football, but I know you guys do some film studying in basketball. How does it differ between the two sports, would you say?
With football, I can sit there and watch film for hours because I know what I'm looking at. But basketball, I'm not really as educated. So I'm just kind of looking at the screen. I don't really know what's happening a lot of the time, but I'm working on it.
Now, one thing I do want to mention to you is your drop step. Your drop step is probably the most exaggerated, funny to watch drop step from a big guy, but it works. How long have you been working on that drop step?
I mean, the drop step is really the only move that it's my favorite thing to do. And when you're big, you have to really exaggerate it or you'll get called for a foul because they think you're pushing off or using your body. So you really got to exaggerate your leg swing and everything. I love that move.
You're the big man, so you're in kind of a 3-player rotation. It's you, Anson, and Tate Adams pretty much. How has that rotation been working out for you so far this year?
So, Anson's our main guy. He's really athletic, big, he's tall. He's really good with the ball and he can pass the ball really well. So, like, I'm in a position right now where I back him up. Like, that's what my role is, and I like that role. Like, I can go in, get some rebounds, maybe score and facilitate the ball. That's a big thing, and I enjoy it. I'm enjoying it.
2 more questions for you. Favorite memory in football is the first one.
Favorite memory in football was probably beating Troy back-to-back years and then beating them at their place this year in the rain.
And then your last question is favorite memory in basketball.
Favorite memory in basketball, probably last year beating Troy at Troy was probably it, yeah.
And you guys are probably going to want to beat them again because you don't play them again until February the 11th.
We got a long time, yeah.
Here at home, the final game of the regular season. Caleb, thank you again for joining us here today. We wish you the best of luck for the remainder of the season and as you move forward in your senior.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of the Piqua Boys Basketball Coaches Show. We look forward to seeing you again. Remember that all the games that we are covering will be posted on a delayed video on our YouTube page. Don't miss any of that action. It'll also be posted on Channel 5 as well. We've got tons of sports coverage coming your way with other sports as well, not just basketball. We got wrestling, bowling, swimming, and diving coming up as well as our winter sports season continues here at Piqua High School. For Caleb Lyons, I'm AJ Ganger saying good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching.